Hello, North Decatur. I hope you are all doing as well as can be, and I hope it is not getting to be too bad, cabin fever wise, and that you're able to really just rest and experience God in more quiet and secluded ways. It's a whole good tradition of hermits in the Christian tradition, so I suppose now we're all hermits. For the devotion this week, I thought I would give you a tour of the little altar I have set up at my house so you could see kind of my own personality in terms of prayer and maybe get some ideas for yourself for your own prayer practices at home. So here we go. So this is the little altar I have set up. It's actually on top of my dresser. I've got this red cloth, which, despite being a total liturgical nerd, is not actually the liturgical color. Well, technically it can potentially be the liturgical color for the end of Lent, but it's really just there because I like red and that's the fabric I had. Over here in the corner, I've got this little teeny tiny thurible. A thurible is a container for incense. I can't really use it in my apartment complex because it will set off the fire alarm, but the idea of it is nice. Here next to it, I've got this prayer rope. It's a bit like a rosary, but it's used in Orthodox traditions. Each knot represents a prayer, much like the rosary, but for the Orthodox tradition, it's a short little prayer, and it goes, Lord Jesus, Son of the living God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And you just pray it every single bead the whole way through. Over in the back is this really pretty gold book that I'm working on writing down a book of hours inside with my own translations. It's really pretty. You can see some of the Latin prayers. There are Greek and Hebrew texts as well in it. Underneath is one of my Bible copies that I use for praying the hours. This is the main book that I actually use for praying the hours during Lent. I haven't had a whole lot of time to do that this year, but I try to as much as I can. These pillar candles are actually left over from our wedding. They were going to be one of the things that the attendants were carrying. We didn't end up actually using them, so now we just have them at home. And this is a beautiful little beeswax candle that we purchased at the Emory Farmers Market, of all things. This cross my mom gave me when I graduated from undergrad and started to go to seminary. This chalice is my spouse's and represents communion. Then I've got a little jar of holy water to represent baptism, so the sacraments are over here. This little tiara is actually the tiara I wore at my wedding, and now it's crowning the Jesus candle on my altar. And then the red candle is just there for funsies. The last thing is this painting of a quote from Dionysius about seraphim. I really like seraphim. They're these like fiery, passionate angels that are super weird in the book of Isaiah, and so that's hanging up on the wall. And then there's this picture of a whirling dervish. It's associated with Islamic mysticism, and that's up next to my wall as well. So there's a tour of my altar. I hope that maybe sparks some creative ideas in you for things that you could do at home in this kind of hectic time, even when you can't necessarily wake up to go to worship, or you're still at work, or you're just sleeping because it's kind of exhausting to be stuck at home alone for a while. It's a strange time. And frankly, honestly, I haven't had that much time to really spend a lot of time in prayer, but just having this here in my apartment has been really helpful and really grounding just to see it and kind of acknowledge God in those little breath prayer moments as I walk by when I don't have any other time. It's a good reminder that God's always there, no matter how busy we are, no matter how crazy the world is. God's always there, and God's got us. So I hope that's maybe something you needed to hear or some encouragement that you needed this week. Blessings to all of you. Good luck with the rest of this quarantine, however long it takes.